So here we start. Today we are going to discuss a very important topic. We may have discussed before, but this is very essential, and because writing, especially when you are going through writing task 2, introduction is the very vital key of explaining things, because this shows how well you have described a topic and how well you have understood the topic. Introduction speaks in different ways. First is like how well, first thing, how well you have understood the topic. Second thing, how well you are going to explain the topic in the essay. This is all the criterias that you should be keeping in mind before starting an essay. We'll relate to it, but let us first understand the structure of uh, the writing task 2. Okay, the writing task 2's essay structure is like introduction. Just remember this because this is very important and should not be missed out. So first is the introduction, that is around 40 to 60 words, may go up till 70 words. You can have an upper limit of 70 words here, but not more than that. Okay, so now next, this is, again I tell you, this is another point that you need to keep in mind is body 1. Body 1 paragraph 70 words, and body 2 paragraph 70 words together. Okay, together, if we consider both of this, okay, we should be writing around 140 words, but not beyond that. Even though we say 100 words, but sometimes it may vary, like 100 words in the body part 1 and lesser in the body 2. But be cautious that you are to not to write more than 140 words. So that I hope it's understood. The next part says it is body part 3. Body part 3 is very optional, and we really do not support writing body part 3. It is very optional. So better you skip it. I will tell you, skip this thing. Okay, so it's an optional thing. Skip it. Okay. So now we come to the next part, the conclusion. The very vital part, conclusion part says it is to be written in 40 to 60 words, but may have an upper limit of writing 70 words, but not beyond than that. Okay. Make sure that whenever you write this essay, it should not exceed a word limit of 280 words. And that's what we have been saying from the day one. Make sure that you adhere to this things. Okay. So when we come to the next part is opinion essay. Okay. Let us look into the different types of essay. This is an opinion essay. It says, in some countries, an increasing number of children are overweight or obese as a result of eating too much of fast food. Banning fast food from school canteens is the best way to fight this problem. To what extent do you agree or disagree with this statement? Now, it is clearly, I will underline that so that you understand it in a better way. To what extent do you agree or disagree? This is the question. So here we say it is an opinion-based question, and overall, you should not be diverted in this essay, making it one-sided, rather discussing that question, but it should be an opinion-based. You are putting forth your opinion in this criterion. Okay, so let us understand this first. So there is a TTP formula. Okay, this is a very important formula that we need to understand. TTP formula. The TTP formula is topic, next is task, and the third is position. We may have learned writing an essay in another words, but this seems to be an easy way of writing it. Let us understand this. What is topic, what is task, and what is position? Okay, so we go with the next slide. Here we see topic says give a general statement. What is the essay about? So what is the essay about? Let us understand that, because this is an opinion essay. Essay is about overweight or obesity due to fast food. And in where it is in some countries, not every country. It talks about schools, it talks about canteens, but it does not talk about any other surrounding things. So make sure when you are describing such an essay, it should be very well explained, because there are certain things that you need to keep in mind, because you may get diverted at times. So then, children, overweight or obese, okay, fast food in schools and canteens is the solution. Or where in some countries, not every country, it talks about some countries. So you have to be very precise with this. So let us look at this. Give a general statement. A general statement. What is in this essay? Importance of the topic and the current state of the issue. That is the topic. Remember that. Do not divert yourself from this topic. Okay. Now we come with the next one. Here we say, excessive weight gain and obesity have become major issues among children. Now, this is a generalized view. Understand that. This is a generalized view, and it is not talking about specifically about some person. It is talking about what it is talking about, specifically children. It is not talking about a child in your area. It is not talking about a child in a society. It is talking about children as a whole. It is talking about weight gain and obesity. Understand that. Okay. I hope you are very clear with this. Okay. Next. The next task is focus on the topic question. You should not get diverted from the topic question. You should remain there in the topic question. So that says paraphrase the topic sentence. Paraphrase. I hope you know what is paraphrasing, right? In the coming classes, we'll make you understand what is paraphrasing exactly. But paraphrasing in a shorter terms means a sentence whereby it is not copying the exact words, but it is rather improvisation of the question defined in your own way, and it is said to be like an improvised and upgraded version. That's the right word. Improvised and upgraded version of what you find in the question. So you don't exactly copy the same word, but you rather improvise and upgrade it. So that's one thing. Okay. Now we move on to the next slide. Now you see, it is argued that school should not be allowed to sell fast food in order to reduce the rate of childhood obesity. This is what must be understood from your end. When we are describing it, it is being described in this way. Now, I tell you not to copy the same set of words. You can improvise it and upgrade it. It's a rough part that we have done. Try to upgrade it and make it more standardized, so that when the examiner reads your essay, it feels that he is convinced that you are sure going to score somewhere around 8. Okay, so that is the task. So topic, task. Topic says generalized statement, importance of the topic and current state of the issue. Second, task, focus on the topic at question so you don't get diverted from the topic, and paraphrase the topic sentence. And next is the position. You look at this position. What is your opinion? Do you rather say fast food is good for children and it should not be banned? So do you say whether it should be banned in schools and canteens in educational institution campus? So that is your view about it. Now look at this. Now, present view. What is the present view? Look at this. It says your opinion or essay outline. The essay will discuss. Even though a straight, now look at the way it has been explained. Even though a straightforward ban on the fast food in the school cafeteria seems to be a positive step, this is the most effective way to elevate this problem. It is supposed to be the last part in the conclusion. So always when you put forth your opinion, make sure that you are explaining that in the conclusion. Opinions are meant to be explained in the conclusion. I hope you understood. Now we move to the next set. Okay. Now let us look into this. There are two views. Now look at this. There was one opinion, whether it should be banned or not banned. Now we have another opinion, two views. There are two set of ideas. Some people think that children should read academic books. Others believe that reading books for pleasure is equally important. So you have two views, not a single view where it says food is junk food is causing obesity. But here we have two views which says children should read only for academic and reading books is meant for pleasure. So there are two views. Discuss both these views and give your opinion. Here, it's another way of expression. Look at this very beautifully. We can explain it in our essays. Okay. Now let us come to this part. Let us understand what is TTP, topic, task, position. Now, when you see this, here, give a generalized statement. What is the essay about? Importance of the topic and current state of the issue. This should be done in the planning time. Planning time. Maintain always a planning time for your essay before you start writing the essay. Don't plan after writing the introduction. That should be your target area. Now, importance of the topic and children's state of the issue. Children are often encouraged to read. This is the generalized view. Children are encouraged to read. It is not said whether it is for academics or for pleasure, but it is said it is encouraged to be. Children are encouraged to read. Now, focus on the topic question. Let us focus on the topic question. Now, here we come to the next part. Focus on the topic question. Paraphrase the topic question. Paraphrasing, improvising and upgrading. I said it before, improvising and upgrading. However, there is a debate regarding the kind of books that is best for them. Okay, now look at this. Should is being used. You should answer that in a positive way. I prefer and I always instruct my students that should, could, would, all these words should be avoided because it is not a set of rules and regulations that you write here in the essay, but it is rather a report or a description of how you describe a particular topic. So this should be taken into account as a question to you. Should children only read for educational purposes or should they read for fun? How you describe it. Okay. Now we come with the next thing. Here the present or your opinion or the essay outline. In my opinion, both categories of books are equally important for children's development. So you cannot just weigh it down. So some topics may be difficult to say that just for pleasure you can read and you need not read for academics. And if you say academics is good and not for pleasure, it weighs the other aspect down. So better you balance it, and the opinion aspect, you in the conclusion you say, in my opinion both categories of books are equally important for children's development. And when you come to describe this topic in the paragraph 1 and 2, you are easily able to develop that, because paragraph 1 you can focus on just on pleasure or the academic aspect, and the second paragraph, the second body paragraph, you can easily convince the reader about the other area, the later area. Okay, if you have written for the academic in the first paragraph, you can come for the pleasure part, reading for the pleasure part in the second body. So make sure that whatever you are writing is focused on to getting more points, and you are not stuck in a single point. Now we come with the next thing. So here the introduction, like that might be another question that comes up. This is meant for writing the introduction, yes dear, but when you state the opinion there itself, you are not you are not you are not putting a generalized opinion. Instead you are having a uh, personalized opinion in the conclusion. But here this aspect I will tell you, you write it in a generalized way. Categories of books which can be for pleasure or for academics are equally vital or imperative, whichever word you feel like is imperative for a child's development in the early age. So that's done. So you are putting forth your area where you are going to focus, and you are not saying in my opinion rather. So that's the best way to present it. I hope you have understood this. Now we move on to the next part, two direct questions. So here one was opinion type, single opinion. There was another was the two opinion type, and the third is two direct questions. Focus on this, two direct questions. Okay. Now, if you see this, there's one thing wonderful. The best way to motivate employees is to increase their salaries. Do you agree with this statement? Are there any other ways to encourage employees to work more efficiently? I pray my staff does not see this topic, so they will be debating with me rather. So let us understand this aspect. Okay, the best way to motivate, to increase their salaries. Do you agree with the statement? One aspect, another aspect, any other way to encourage them to work more efficiently. So there are two aspects that have been specified. Okay, so make sure you are very much clear with this. Okay, so there are two direct questions involved in this. Okay, let us analyze this. So one part which says disagreeing. Okay, disagreeing with one part which says increasing salary is the best way to motivate employees. Second part, incentives related to performance may work better than salary increases. So you can put forth your ideas. Salary, people used to get higher salaries. Salary increases motivation of the people and increases their work in the future. Annual bonus, people are motivated every year. Banks pay annual bonuses, so that is bonus part related to the performance. Idea 2, increasing salaries regularly is too expensive for companies. And there's another idea, non-monetary incentives that can play a role part. Employee of the month, recognition for employees at no cost for companies. So here you are saying 2-3 things. So whichever you weigh more, you can focus on that. If you focus on this, if you focus on this, go for this. If you focus on this part, focus on this. So better have a proper planning before you just start to write. Because once you write introduction, having salaries is the best way to motivate candidates or the work staff. You cannot change it overall to the incentive part or to the other non-monetary factors, because you are have already started and there is hardly 40 minutes left for you to write an essay. And if after you write for 10 minutes and feel, oh, I feel that the other part was okay, it is not going to be okay. So make sure that you focus on, have uh, a strict idea or a regimen how what is to be followed. Okay, now in the last but not the least very important point, you see this position. I disagree that increasing salaries is the best way to motivate candidates. Incentives related to performance. So I can just relate to it and say, increasing salary is never been an best way to motivate staff, but or rather incentives related to work performance is rather a morale booster and performance booster than salary increments. So it feels that you have upgraded the way you are going to project your essay. So focus on that part. Okay. So I hope that's understood. Now, next part. Now there is to be the TTP formula. The first TTP formula, we find this topic, generalized statement. Companies across the globe recognizes the importance of motivating their staff to work more efficiently. Task. Some people think that increasing salary is the most effective incentive. Position. I disagree with this opinion and argue that other results tend to yield more better result. So when you write this, you have enough of points. But what happens? We don't plan it out. Planning is the key to write better introduction and better essays. So you use this TTP formula and start writing the essay so that you can rather amplify it and better you can, in a better way, you can start presenting your essays. There are people who score in reading 7 or 8, listening 7 or 8, speaking 7 or 8, but in writing they go off because they don't have a proper planning. First of all, they are stuck with grammar. Second, linking words, vocabulary areas, and the other part is planning. So you should have a proper planning before you start an essay. Okay, next part. Do's and don'ts to write an introduction, and I will say it is not just meant for the introduction part. It is meant for writing the essay writing task too. Do not make it too general. You can take it a personalized view, but maybe a semi-personalized view, but not a very personalized view. Okay, I will explain it to you. Okay, now look at this. The best way to motivate candidates is to increase their salaries. Do you agree with the statement? Are there any other ways to encourage statements to work, employees to work more efficiently? Companies across the globe recognizes the importance of motivating their staff to work more productively. After all, companies depend on how well their employees work. Therefore, we need a requirement. Now we can just refine it. Since I am more into improvising and refining, I will change this and say, therefore, encouragement to work more efficiently comes through incentives that are non-monetary and recognition based. So that gives a more morale booster to when you write a topic or an introduction in this way. And that should be your focus. Okay, now the next is do not make it very long. Okay, introductions is not an essay. Introduction is, it is rather a, it is an intro. It is showing you the picture of what the essay is. So if you write 100 words and you are stuck with 180 words, ultimately you will fall short and you will not be able to describe in the body part 1, body part 2, or nor in the conclusion. So constrict or restrict yourself not more than 70, I say. The upper limit should always be not more than 70 words. Okay. Now, the third part, don't use memorized templates. And this is one of the issues with all the students who attend the exam. Because once you, there is a habit that has been nurtured for long, that people tend to by heart essays. I had a student somewhere, she came here maybe 5 years back, and then she said, sir, I have learned around, and the book was this thick, and she used to show me and then say, sir, I have read around these 300 essays from this essay book, and I have memorized it. Even though I write this memorized essay, I am not able to score more than 5.5. What is the problem with? So I said, I asked her to write, and then everything was very common usages, and which was not very natural. Examiner looks for your natural usages rather than memorized templates. So when you go for memorized templates, you lose your marks. Do not do that. So there's another thing that you need to focus on the aspect. Okay. Now we come with the next thing is, do state your position. Always in the last line of the introduction, make sure that you indirectly state your position. Indirectly stating your position will give a room for better intro to the whole body 1 and body 2. So make sure that you write this well. Okay. So this TTP formula, I'll just review that and revise it once again for you. Topic, give a general statement. Importance of the topic and the current state of the issue. Task, focus on the topic question, paraphrase the topic sentence. Position, have your opinion, okay, and indirectly state your opinion, and the essay outline. Do not make it too general, okay. Don't make it too long. Do not use memorized templates, and the last but not the least, do not state your position. I hope you have got it, and that's what this, in order to write an exemplary essay, you have to start using using this TTP formula and the things that I said as a part of the introduction, because introduction is the area where you can really score and give a wide view of your writing topic. I hope you have understood, right? Thank you.